and welcome to Citizens Dialogue, where we bring you latest updates across Nigeria. First, we'll start with the headlines. You cannot scare me. Tinubu fires at Atiku, Obi, El-Rufai. Labour Party agrees to support Tinubu, Arabambi claims. I am Kasitoni and we'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere. Joining us now to break down these headlines are our political analyst. By my left is Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu. Good to have you join us, Ugochukwu. Happy weekend to you.
Kasi, happy weekend to Nigerians. Happy weekend to all lovers of peace. And we're happy to be on set to continue to speak Nigeria, continue to talk about the good for the people. I welcome you, Cassie, to today's episode.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu. It's a pleasure having you. And by my right is Dairo Jefta. Good to have you join us, Dairo.
Thank you for having me here, Cassie. It's nice to be here.
Always a pleasure. And you look amazing, by the way.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, let's dive in on what we have. Ugochukwu, I'm going to start with you. The president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is firing back to the opposition party, that's ADC, in presence of Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and then Nasiri El-Rufai. You know, in one of his statements, he said that these opposition parties are trying to scare him. They are trying to scare him against him coming back in 2027, but he said he's been there before, and the same way he overcame in 2023, he'll still go through that route again to come back in 2027. Now, my question, in the light of President Tinubu's recent dismissal of the opposition alliances as an attempt to scare him, so to what extent does this unification of former rivals, that's Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and El-Rufai under the ADC present, a genuine threat to the incumbency, or is it primarily a reaction strategy that risks internal collapse due to competing ambitions for the 2027 ticket?
Cassie, is very laughable when someone like the president comes in the open and makes such a such statement. If my memory still serves me right, as a student of philosophy, philosophers define fear as that the fear in itself is the greatest fear. You know, that you have a fear for something, you have a phobia for something, that is your greatest Achilles heel. So the statement of Mr. President tells me that he's indeed scared.
Exactly.
Mr. President is really scared because what a man harbors in his heart and how he feels is what the person regurgitates. You know, is what the person speaks out. A lot of things is happening before the formation of the coalition. I said it in different fora that the tsunami, the volcanic movement that that particular coalition is going to cause to the APC will be unprecedented. And even when governors, a lot of politically exposed persons were rushing into APC, we also thought about the APC running into what they call political implosion. And today, most of those my assertions are realities of today. For someone like the Jagaban, as he calls himself, he said that he's the Jagaban. You know, it's only in Nigeria that the government take the citizens for a ride and they go to sleep, nothing happens. I blame the Nigerian political structure and the Nigerian political space for someone to come out in 2023 or 2022, thereabout, and say that Emilokon, that it is his turn, as though Nigerian seat for the presidency belongs to him or belongs to his family or is an inheritance. That was a big slap on the Nigerian nation. And they allowed him. Only if you make that kind of utterance in another place, I don't want to say Senna Klein, in another part of Africa, that will be the end of that your dream. People will rise up and tell you that we are not running a monarchical structure. This is not a federalism system of governance, and that we have lay-down procedure going by the elections in order to produce a president. But what happened in Nigeria, somebody said, it was my turn. And Nigerians allowed it. So the second one now is, you can't scare me. I've gone through that route. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows it, that he was not among those in the trenches when they fought against the military. President Tinubu chickened out. He was one of the first to escape from Nigeria and went to London. And the only why people started talking about him was he was providing a safe haven for those people who were able to escape after he had escaped Nigeria. He has escaped from Nigeria during the Nadeko fight against the regime of IBB. So when he
sorry
speaks...
to interject. Did he actually chicken out? Did he run because he could not withstand the heat, or he was under pressure like the IBB? I think it was Sani Abacha that was like trying to kill him then before he flew to London for rehabilitation.
You know. So some people were here. The likes of Sheikh Husani, they were all here. The likes of Shore. All of them were here. He's not the only known activist.
But I think his life was actually threatened. That's why he left.
You know, his life was not directly threatened, but he was among the arrowheads that was spearheading that the military must go. So when he comes out to say that he's not scared, but when you also, in the second look, you look at the men that are in the coalition, look at the El-Rufais of this world, you're even going far. You talk about Ogbueni Rauf Aregbesola, who is his bosom friend, that the president came out on a national television and said that if he is sleeping in his room and Ogbueni Rauf Aregbesola is coming into his room with a knife at hand, that nobody should stop him. Even his wife knows that Ogbueni will not hurt him. And the flip over from 2022 to 2026, Ogbueni has become an opponent. And Amechi, who was the arrowhead of the new PDP, the 5 governors that made up of those that formed the APC, the Atikus of this world and all those people, these are the people that knows the in and out of the formation of APC. And he's jittery. Mr. President knows that in a free and fair contest, he will not come back, because those other people knows exactly how the games are played. And I've said it almost every time, and for the often time I'm saying it, that the only way to stop APC is for the opposition to match APC word by word, to match them violence by violence, to match them money by money, all the antics they are bringing to throw out into the Nigerian electoral space, they should match them. Because if they don't, at the end of the day, nothing happens. It will be rhetorics. But the only misgivings I have with the coalition is that they brought all their arsenals out in the open for everybody to see. But to recall, Kassim, when they were forming APC, it was hard for PDP to know those who were behind APC. They thought it was normal Tinubu movement. Do you understand? So when APC was formed and came out, it took PDP by the storm. But the undoing of this coalition that is going to pull them down is because they brought all their arsenals out. And when you are going to fight with someone and you expose your armory, your opponents will see what is inside and also plan a counter way of dealing with you. That is what I'm saying. But if Mr. President is scared, yes, he is scared of the contest and the international pressure that will mount on him because of the insecurity and the feelings of Nigerians towards his administration so far.
All right, thank you so much, Ugochukwu. Let's move over to Dairo. Let's look at judiciary and governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently emphasized the need for democracy to survive, and he made mention of noise making. This noise making, he was actually referring to the opposition parties, as the AP, the ADC. And then he urged compliance with court orders. He urged that there should be compliance with the court orders. So the question is it a strategic move to frame the opposition activities as a threat to national stability and order?
So basically, he claimed that the first part that he said concerning what was that thing again?
The opposition parties, that they are noisemakers.
Yes, they are noisemakers. And he coming out to say that he's not threatened by them. Isn't he noisemaking at that point? It's really like, it's paradoxical. Like he's making himself seem like he's the best thing for Nigeria, but at the same time he's still afraid that he's not going to win the next coming election. Because how can you come out and say that you are not threatened by opposition? Are you a king? Like, we're not on a monarchical government now. Sorry, monarchical government like Britain, where there's a king, and the power is handed down to the heir. Who handed him power, or who gave him power? It is the masses, people that voted for him. Although I won't say he fought his way into the office, into that position, because at the same time, when he became the president, when he was sworn in, he told his cabinet that he knew that Nigeria didn't vote for him. He said it. He said he knew that they didn't vote for him. And like Mr. Ogo said, how can an aspiring president come out and say, it is my turn? That means you think you are operating on a monarchical system of government. It's your turn. That means you are the heir to the government, to the position. Meanwhile, you are not. People are the one that's supposed to vote you into power, and then you coming out and say that the opposition should support democracy or something like that around that area. You are not even operating on a democratic system of government. You are not really operating on a democratic system of government, because him coming out to say that they are not a threat to him, he's already feeling threatened by them. That's what I feel, in my own opinion. He's already threatened by them, and he already has a way to get himself back into office, I believe.
And then he called them noisemakers. Are they really noisemakers?
Yeah, in their own party, there is a lot of noise that we've been having.
In the ADC?
Yeah, in the ADC currently, recently, we've been hearing a lot of noises from different factions. We've been discussing about that. We've been seeing on the news every day. The ADC have not really settled their in-house disputes, and who is going to, like, we don't even know who is going to be their presidential candidates yet. There are really different segments, different factions that we are still looking at. But in the grand scheme of things, I still believe that Tinubu is the number one noisemaker. But he's also somebody that is planning. But him coming out to say that they don't pose a threat to him, yeah, I think that he's scared, but he still has plans. But at the end of the day, yeah, he's actually a noisemaker.
Definitely, he still has a plan, because in his statement, he said the same route that he took in becoming the president, he still go through the same route again. So
that was the same route he used in the 2023 election.
All right, thank you so much, Dairo. Lastly, on this particular discussion, the president, in his statement, he called them on compliance. He called for compliance within the court order. Now, with this call for compliance, is it a genuine call to rule of law, or the president is just playing to the gallery, just trying to deceive people that, oh, the president is, is being genuine?
Cassie, before I dive into that, because what we are discussing was a fallout of an inauguration the president had to inaugurate the state's members or executives of his Renewed Hope Agenda ambassadors, calling them out for his re-election. And there, a lot of things came out of him. And I want to also draw Mr. President's attention for those who say we are not encouraging the government. We are not antagonistic. We are not, I don't know Tinubu. Tinubu doesn't know me. But as my president, Tinubu should go about doing what he was elected to do. The things he campaigned for that made 8 million plus Nigerians voted for him, as they claimed, that the votes he got that surpassed that of Atiku and that of Obi, as declared by INEC. So he should go about, because I don't even know if President Bola Tinubu's administration has satisfied up to 8 million Nigerians that voted for him. So his policies, for me, is still in the pipeline. Nobody is against the government here. Nobody is talking down on the government. But when the policies and promises of government, we are not seeing it. If we are not in Abuja, I'm not in the corridors of power, don't I see the outcome of the policies of government in order to know if that government is for my good or not? I should have my say. I should have my opinion on saying if, as a citizen, know if the government is. That's why many people are calling on Jonathan. They're still emphasizing that Jonathan's regime was far best. So if you're talking about Mr. President, talking about Renewed Hope Agenda, APC ran on the mantra of change. The change couldn't work. On a second breath, they brought about next level. And Tinubu is running on Renewed Hope, which, what has he done in almost 3 years as an administrator and the superintendent of the Nigerian economy? So when you're saying he's talking about judgment, court judgment, when had APC government obeyed court order? Malami, for example, who is facing the charges that he's facing now, was he not the Attorney General of Nigeria on APC, the creation of APC? So this is what we see, all the people that are going through one form of litigation or the other, those who ran into APC and their sins have been forgiven. Are they not the product under APC administration? What are they talking about? What is Mr. President trying to tell us about judicial proceedings, obeying court order? He's trying to tell ADC that whatever decision the court takes in your leadership crisis, you should obey it. That's the only thing he's saying. So if Mr. President knows that he is only the president of Nigeria, he should not be making statements that are concerning the judiciary. Because what he's telling me now is that, recall what he told Akpabio, whether they say jokingly or whatever, but he told Akpabio, I will send you over to go and scatter the other people, which Mr. President has come out in the open now to say that all the crises other political parties are having, he has a hand in it. Because if you don't have a hand in it, and the APC have been denying it over time, how come Mr. President is using it as, was it a joke, or was it an afterthought, or whatever? But that has come to show clearly that Mr. President and APC has a hand in planting moles in disrupting the activities of opposition political parties. He cannot rule it out. Because I'm not the person that imputes the words into him. I'm not his script writer. You understand? So Mr. President and his handlers should tarry a while. We have not gone into campaign. If you have said it during campaign, they say, we will understand. Maybe this is about the campaign, because you have to employ all strategy in order to to outsmart your political opponent. But Mr. President is talking to us as Nigerians, as the citizens that he's leading. So, Mr. President should not be talking about the judicial proceedings. Let it be left to the court. Let it be left to those who are assigned, because recall that have 3 arms of government. Mr. President will not pocket National Assembly, and as though it seems now he has pocketed the judiciary. And INEC is an annex of APC. Here, the APC government and the Bola Tinubu-led administration has annexed INEC. So what are they coming to tell us about they are doing, they have to follow judicial proceedings? But finally, let Mr. President go and ask former President Goodluck Jonathan how his own ambassadors, the JEJ ambassadors, how they fared and how they were able to garner vote for him. Because I was aware those who were members and those who led the ambassadors for Jonathan, and at the end of the day, 2015, where did Jonathan go? So I'm very happy that Mr. President has employed the services of ambassadors. So maybe he could go the way of Jonathan. I wouldn't be so surprised. But hence he has already orchestrated the way to bring himself back for second tenure. His coronation is on site.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu. Away from that to another development, the Labour Party agreed to support Tinubu's return to the office. Daira, I'm going to start with you on this particular discussion. Arebambi, one of Labour Party delegates, in an interview in a TV station, he mentioned that the Labour Party as a party and the governor of Abia State, that's Alex Oti, they've come together to agree to give their consensus to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, meaning that they are not ready to bring out a candidate from their party, so they'll give out their support to President Tinubu. And then the party, the Labour Party, has come out to deny these allegations that they didn't say that. And then Alex Oti as well, the government of Abia State, they've also come out to disagree that Alex Oti never said that he's not giving his support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So to what extent does Arebambi's claim of a Labour Party Tinubu alliance reflects a genuine strategic realignment of southern political elites? Because in his statement, he mentioned that Tinubu's coming back, that is still the turn of the Southwest, so it's not yet the turn of the South-South. Let's hear from you.
Like we said in the first, with the first question, we are supposed to operate on a democratic government. How you say this is not the turn of the South, that is the turn of the Southwest? Are we taking turns on who is going to rule the government? We're supposed to choose our leaders by free and fair election, through free and fair election, not through selection. What they are insinuating there is selection, not election. And for Labour Party, I feel like Labour Party, ever since the 2023 election, and Peter Obi left, they've lost relevance. For a member of them, a high delegated member of the party, to come out and say that they are backing Tinubu, it just shows that they really don't have any relevance again in the forthcoming elections. And most of Nigerians know that Peter Obi was the one that brought fame to the party. He was the one that had a lot of backings from the youth, a lot of backings from a lot of people, that even some people believe that he was the one that won the election. They believe that he was the one that won the election. Or we see how the country turned out. We see how the results turned out. Tinubu won. And also in retrospect, we also believe that Labour Party has, since Peter Obi gave them fame and he has left, they don't have any structure. They don't have any structure. They don't have any, there's nobody that they can look onto. And now that they are supporting Tinubu and saying that Southwest, the power still belongs to the Southwest, before Tinubu, it was Buhari. Which person from the South has been in government as long as Buhari and Tinubu? I mean, I've not seen anybody from the South apart from Jonathan, who ruled for like the years that he ruled was probably because of Yar'Adua's death. He entered office, he ruled for 2 years as acting president, then ruled for another 4 years. Then he wanted to go for the second term, which the North didn't allow, and he peacefully walked out from the office. But this Mr. Arab Abi saying that it's not yet the turn of the South. I mean, we've already heard from the North, we've already heard from the West, but I won't even support that claim because power is not supposed to be something that is selected or shared. It's something that the citizens are supposed to come out and vote who they want in power, not who a specific cabal of people have chosen. I mean, that's not how democracy works. That's more like a totalitarian government or a unilateral government, not a democratic government. So that's what I have to say concerning the entire issue.
All right, thank you so much, Dairo, for the analysis. Over to you, Ugochukwu. In his statement, he brought in the Labour Party and the governor of Abia State. Now, the camp of Abia State, they've come out to reject this statement, to counter the statement, and then even the Labour Party as well, they've also come out to tender the statement. Now, how does this undermine the forceful denial of Alex Oti's camp and Labour Party factions to expose the depth of internal fragmentation that could undermine opposition's ability to present presidential candidate come 2027?
Cassie, let the truth be told to Nigerians. I'm not going to mince words. I'm not in the category of those who try to paint words and the rhetorics. When you call them tomorrow, they will be struggling to defend it. You know, the truth be told that though Labour Party and Abia State government, you know, has debunked this particular statement, you know, but the truth remains that Alex Oti, as the political atmosphere in Nigeria is now, Alex Oti is working for the federal government. There is no denial of that, because if Alex Oti is left alone as the only opposition leader, because he is the only opposition governor now, because Sheyi Makinde and Bala Mohammed are second-termed governors, and they can't contest for governorship seat again in Nigeria. And they may even lose their states because of the way the political atmosphere, you know, politicians have said that everybody now moving into APC, that is the Mr. President is playing the politics, that this is the first time a politician is becoming a president in Nigeria. When somebody, before your very eyes, somebody is undermining democratic process. Someone is using his office, the office he swore when he was taking the oath of allegiance and the oath of office, that I will do good to all manner of people, irrespective of the person's religion, tribe, or ethnicity. That I will treat all Nigerians fairly and equally, irrespective of who they are, class and status. And at the same time, the same people are now telling you that this is the first time Nigeria is playing the politics, is a politician, and all that. It's all well good for them. So when you now look at the current electoral process in Nigeria, Oti cannot be left alone. I don't blame him at all. Because who will bear the cat? Who will bear the cat? Who will be the next Professor Nene Oti that can stand and say, I declare the result as it is, even with all the inducements, with all the threats? We may not get it. Who has represented the late Dora Akunyere? who went all out to revolutionize the fight against drugs in Nigeria? Who? It was the same Dora Akunyere that when Yar'Adua died, recall that she was the person that spoke out when they were, covering the death of Yar'Adua. She spoke out and said that this will not allow to continue, that power should be transferred to Jonathan. They said she died of cancer. We also agree. I'm on national television. We also agree that she died of cancer. But we know what played out. Because there was a time when Nnamdi Kanu said that who will be, when Buhari came on board and a lot of things were happening, Nnamdi Kanu said, who will be the next Dora Akunyere? Who can speak out? Recall that Buhari died 2 times. Buhari came and died again. And then Nnamdi Kanu said, during those coverage and those secrecy, Nnamdi Kanu came out and said, who will be the next Dora Akunyere? Because you know what Dora Akunyere said? When they were covering up the death of Yar'Adua, it was Dora Akunyere that came and spoke out.
All right, Amogochiko, before
you understand?
Go further, you did mention that Buhari died 2 times. At what point did he die the first time? Because we know that Buhari died in 2025. So at what 2026. At what point did he die and die again, please?
There are a lot of international conspiracy. The international community is complicit of so many things because there are verifiable and there are documents that has even subsisting till today that show that Buhari died way before he died. But let's leave that. That's not our discussion today. But I have my own opinion
for clarity's
to say. That's why I said that there are pointers, and nobody disputed those pointers. If you want me to go on, Obasanjo left Nigerian governance in 1979. He still arrived enjoying the paraphernalia that is agreeable to a retired president. Gowon saw Nigeria off during the wartime and ruled Nigeria for how many years? Gowon is still alive till today. IBB has been on wheelchair for God knows how long. And he ruled Nigeria and he's still enjoying. A Nigerian president that was flown abroad when he was sick and the Nigerian government was not aware. Do you know that an ex-president is the property of Nigeria? When Buhari was flown out for the second time for medication, did Bola Tinubu administration know about it? I don't want to go into that. But what we are trying to say here is that when you are talking about Mr. President and what he stands for, the truth must be told that OT is aligning with the federal government in order for him to be able to win his second tenure. Recall that OT also, his chairman of local governments in Abia State are under the Zenith Labour Party. OT can come out with any political party and win. And this Arebambi of a person who is the deputy national leader, Southwest of Labour Party, who brought them into power, is the making of OT and the P2B that made them to align with Nenadi Esther Usman's caretaker-led committee. And now, listen to what he said. He said that OT and Abure. Which Abure? Where did Abure come into the space? And when you now flip over, he said that Nenadi Usman is the appendage of P2B, then the question will be, who is Arebambi appendage of? Hence, he is now the spokesperson of Mr. President in Labour Party. That was how they planted moles in other political parties. And you are seeing it playing out. That somebody who is a card-carrying member and an official, executive official of another political party is in his political party and talking about what concerns APC. The presidential and the Labour Party has not come out to tell us that, like Abga said, that they're endorsing Mr. President. Labour Party as a political party have not come out to tell us that they are going to pitch tent with APC in order to re-elect Mr. President. But somebody has become the voice. That will tell you that whatever is happening to these opposition political parties, APC cannot remove themselves from there. But why did he say so? That there are underground plans to bring back P2B, who gave Labour Party that face. And if they do that, I don't think it is something so bad. But for him to now say that the chairman of the Labour Party is an appendage of Obi, after all, Obi brought her into the space where she is today.
All right, thank you so much, Ugochukwu. Lastly, on this segment, Dairo, let's look at Alex Oti's deal. Prior to this time, Senator Orji Kalu has one time accused Alex Oti of having a mutual support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before this, Arabambi came out with the Alex Oti, Abia State has accepted to give out their support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A senator has already accused Alex Oti of giving out his mutual support to Tinubu. Now, can an opposition governor maintain a strategic partnership with an incumbent president for state-level governance without compromising his party's national opposition level?
Okay, so what you're asking is, can a governor in a party be in alliance with the opposition party?
Yeah. With an incumbent president, that is the president.
Yes, while trying to segment his seats for his next term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I know why I say so, because even with, let's come back to Rivers State for a bit. We see Wike. Yeah, we know that Wike was in PDP. But during the 2023 election, who was in alliance with? He was in alliance with APC. Because it was who won in which party won in Rivers State during the election, during 2023 election? So it was APC that won in Rivers State. So it's basically the same thing playing out now. Alex Oti is, although he has denied the claims, they've denied the claims. They claim that Arambabi has been exiled from the party, but yeah, he still has a position in Labour Party, and he coming out to say that while we know that he's still a high delegate of the party, the masses will know that Alex Oti is, even though he has denied the claims, but everything is strategic. It's politics. When we look back to the 2023 elections, we know that PDP, Wike was in PDP during that time, during that period.
He's still in PDP?
Yeah, he's still in PDP, yeah. But who won in Rivers? Which party won in Rivers State during the general election? It was APC. Because he was already in alliance with APC. He went first to Labour Party to see if he could get, because I remember the time when Labour Party came and did their what's it called? Their rally in Rivers State, and Wike was in attendance. Wike said something about them getting, like, if Labour Party, if PWP wins, that they will have some seat in the cabinet, and which PWP there nullified, debunked it, said that he's not going to be in alliance with that kind of arrangement. It's when he enters the government, they will know, the cabinet will know, they will know who they will pick for the cabinet. So Wike was playing several sides. He was with Labour Party, thinking that he could suck it up to Peter Obi when he gets into the power, when he gets into the position. When he saw that he couldn't whine or he couldn't manipulate Obi, he now went and went to be in alliance with APC, and APC won in Rivers State. So it's possible that it's possible that he could be in alliance with
the president,
with APC,
to maintain his seats as a governor.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Ugochukwu. Do you have a contrary response to what Dairo just said?
Well, talking about mutuality in politics, it is very common, because each politician and any political party, the primary aim is to win an election and occupy sensitive electoral positions. So, and the OT is coming for his second tenure, and the grounds are not as level as it were in 2022, 2023, and he knows so. because a lot of things have changed. A lot of the political atmosphere in Nigeria is really changed. Recall that during the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, Muhammadu Buhari does not care who wins an election. You even come to an APC state and say, vote for me, and vote for whoever you think that can deliver the dividend of democracy to you as your governor, even to the amazement of APC members. That's why they did not factor Muhammadu Buhari as a politician. You understand? Muhammadu Buhari will come for campaign and make his statement and go. And you find out that he was not meddling in the affairs of INEC when he held sway for 8 years. You know, so when somebody is accusing OT, like Ojos Okalo, Senator, said that OT is in alliance with the federal government, you know, we are operating federalism. So Ojos Okalo got it all wrong for him to fly with that kind of narrative. We are operating a federal system. Federal system here means that there are some projects that will be handled by the federal government, which OT, who is the governor of Abia State, have been pushing for his state to get their own fair share of the federal government, the developmental projects that federal government should cite in his state. So when he's making that kind of demand, how will you now accuse him of sleeping on the same bed with Mr. President? And the OT who comes to say that I support the renewed hope, I've heard him say I support the renewed hope agenda. That means he is only talking about the federal government policies and programs that are beneficial to his people. So when a governor says that, you shouldn't use it and make it a political statement. Cassie, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because if the government have a program or a project to cite in states and ask states to pay their counterpart funding, you will not say that because the governor agreed to that, he will not say that he's supporting the president. You recall that in Nigeria, party manifesto is dead. The only thing that runs in Nigeria and that is alive is the agenda of whoever is the president or the governor. You understand? That is the only thing. That is why we don't have continuity in government in Nigeria. Everybody comes with their own agenda. The party constitution is dead. The party agenda or manifesto is dead in Nigeria. So how will somebody, if APC is operating on their manifesto, Bola Tinubu will not come up with a renewed hope agenda, leaving change and the next level behind, when they have not succeeded in achieving that particular change and the next level they promised to Nigerians as a political party. That's the way I see it. But if somebody will now come and be saying that because OT made that assertion, that it now means that he's jettisoning the opposition party that he is and is running to Mr. President and supporting the APC, I will not say that that is overly true.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu. That's it on today's edition of Citizens Dialogue. Many thanks, Ugochukwu, for joining us.
Cassie, it's a pleasure being here, and we'll continue to talk Nigeria and speak through to power. We are only talking for the betterment of the citizens. And to you, Dairo, it's a pleasure always having you join us.
Same here.
And to you, our amazing viewers, for tuning in. I am Cassie Tony, reminding you to stay informed and stay ahead, and do well to join us next time for more breaking news across Nigeria. Do have a lovely day.